The Wormhole by Faishawn Danzy. Today's date is Octangle 41, 2058. Dearest Amberance Sanders Smith, I left you on the happiest day of my life. We were married, both at the age of 22. I was elated with the prospect of creating a family with you. That is why I took the job. The job, it seemed at the time, was the only way for me to give you the life that you deserve. On our wedding day, the minister was 4 hours late. Your dad, who had previously never taken a sip of alcohol in his life, drank 5 big glasses of punch while we waited for the minister to arrive. He had no idea that someone had spiked the punch. Your father slept, snoring noisily through the entire ceremony. Your little brother did not like it, but your mother talked him into putting on your dad's tuxedo and walking you down the aisle and giving you to me. When your father woke, he had a very hard time believing that he had missed the whole ceremony. He pitched quite a fit for an otherwise quiet-natured guy. No one could leave the church until he walked you down the aisle to me again. By the time our second set of vows was completed, our guests were complaining that they had other places to be. After the reception, our limousine driver took us directly to 5 Point Spaceport. We were quite an unusual couple. We agreed to put our life together on hold. Your last year of college would be spent on the opposite side of the country. I had accepted a very lucrative job that required a great deal of nerve and trust in the United Earth Gateway. I was on my way to one of the planets of the Pentangle. In exactly 1 year, we would both return to Boston for our honeymoon. The Pentangle is 5 inhabitable planets that orbit a cluster of suns. It is located far away from our galaxy. As we know, space is unending and ever-expanding. The Pentangle is located just before you reach the void, which is void of all matter other than light and a milky substance. I was happy to find that it only took 3 Earth days to reach the Pentangle. Our destination was the largest of the 5 planets. The mission of the team that I was assigned to was simple. We were to collect data about the social habits of the inhabitants. We were lucky. We arrived just after the vanquishing of Empress Gila, who had enslaved the inhabitants for many years. The people now live in peace and harmony. They made us feel quite welcome. We soon learned that they were very excited about the prospect of Earthlings coming to live in their world. They did not know that the Earthlings who would be coming to live there were the snootiest snobs that Earth has to offer. Protocol prevented us from divulging that bit of information. This cluster of worlds is so beautiful. Almost as beautiful as you. I wish you could have experienced it with me. Time is quite different than that of Earth. There are 15 months in a year. Octangle is the 8th month. Amazingly, the inhabitants here do not sleep. My co-workers and I have slept only a few times since we arrived. We still have not figured out how that works. After a week passed, my beard was more than 12 inches long. I was told that that anomaly could be credited to the fact that we were very close to Nebulous, an enormous and unusual wormhole. This wormhole contains tiny suns and even planets along its outermost points. Traveling through it requires careful navigation and continuous warp speeds. Nebulous is the reason for this letter. During our 1-year stay on the worlds of the Pentangle, we aged 40 years. I was initially concerned that my 23-year-old wife would not accept me when I returned. Traveling through Nebulous is the only way back to Earth. We are all relieved that as we travel through the wormhole, we are becoming noticeably younger. I have spent the last year of your life and the last 40 years of my life thinking of the day that we will reunite. Unfortunately, the wormhole has caused a snag in time. We are all scrambling to write letters to our loved ones after getting the news. When we reach Earth, we will be 21 years younger than we were when we left. We will have no memory of this trip. We are concerned that the senior members of UEG had knowledge of the consequences of traveling through Nebulous. We have been assured by senior officers that payment in full will be placed on our security cards. This letter will be the only evidence that we traveled to the Pentangle. I am sending copies to my parents as well as yours. If our union was truly meant to be, we shall meet again. Love across worlds, Marcos Smith.